The Australian sprint scene just got a major shakeup. At only 16 years old, Uwezo Lubenda is making waves with a performance that's impossible to ignore, and his latest message to Gout Gout says it all. Confident, fearless, and lightning fast, Lubenda isn't just chasing Australia's next sprint star. He's challenging him head-on and proving he's ready to take over the spotlight. At the Queensland Representative School Sport event, Lubenda did what no one has done in 15 years, shatter the under-16 100-meter record. His time? A blistering 10.35 seconds, breaking Hugh Donovan's 2010 mark of 10.73. That's not just fast, that's Olympic trajectory fast. And if you're Gout Gout, Australia's current sprinting phenom, this is more than a headline. It's a wake-up call. Gout Gout, now 17, has already made waves. From smashing the 10-second barrier twice in a single day to representing Australia in the 200 meters at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, Gout has been widely seen as the future of Aussie sprinting. But Lubenda's arrival has changed that narrative. Suddenly, Gout has competition, not just for national titles, but possibly for Olympic glory in 2032 when Brisbane hosts the Games on home soil. Both sprinters have their eyes locked on that event, and both come from remarkable backgrounds. Gout's family moved to Australia from Sudan 2 decades ago, and his rise from humble beginnings to elite sprinting has earned him a high-profile deal with Adidas. Reflecting on his contract, he told GQ, "It was crazy. The number kept getting higher, and I realized how much these companies think I'm worth." That sponsorship allowed him to focus entirely on training, no side jobs, no distractions. But now, he's not the only name making noise in Queensland. Uwezo Lubenda, born in January 2009, came to Australia from the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2013. Fast forward a decade, and he's standing on the track, gold medal in hand, after leaving the field in his dust. "Man, I feel amazing," he told the Townsville Bulletin. "I was kind of hoping for a time like that. I wasn't thinking too much about it, but I'm really grateful." What's even more stunning is that his 10.35-second sprint would have been fast enough to pass the preliminary heats at the 2025 World Championships, where Gout himself competed. While Gout's best 100-meter time at 16 was a scorching 10.17 seconds, Lubenda is just one stride behind, and he's already talking long-term. "My goal is 2032 Brisbane," he said. "I got my eyes on that." Gout, for his part, ran 10.17 seconds at the Australian All-Schools Championship in Queensland last year, an unofficial 10.04 seconds that was aided by a tailwind beyond the legal limit. Even so, his raw speed and consistency as a junior put him firmly in the spotlight. Now, Lubenda's consistency and explosive race execution at just 16 have put him in that same rarefied air. This isn't just two fast kids chasing dreams. It's shaping up to be a genuine rivalry, the kind that can define a generation. In Tokyo, Gout ran 20.22 in his 200-meter heat and 20.36 in the semis. Solid times for a 17-year-old, but not quite finals material. Still, the fact he made it that far at such a young age is no small feat. Yet, as he trains for 2028 in Los Angeles and the big stage in 2032, he now knows there's someone else chasing that same spotlight. And that someone just sent a loud message by breaking a record few thought would fall anytime soon. The comparisons to Usain Bolt are already flying, and while that's a heavy crown for any teenager, there's something undeniably Bolt-esque about Lubenda. Tall, explosive out of the blocks, and humble yet confident. His coach kept it simple. Stick to your rhythm. Stay composed. And Lubenda delivered, saying, "Everything went smoothly. Everything went according to plan." If anything, Lubenda's performance adds a layer of motivation to Gout's path. These two aren't just sprinters, they're symbols of a new era in Australian athletics. Both are immigrants. Both are young. Both are carrying the hopes of future Olympic success. But only one can lead the next sprinting revolution. And while Gout has the endorsements, the world stage experience, and the backing of Australia's top athletics programs, Lubenda has the momentum and the raw, unfiltered drive that makes prodigies impossible to ignore. For Gout, this is more than competition, it's pressure. After all, he's no longer just the next big thing, he's the benchmark. And when a 16-year-old steps up and nearly matches your numbers from last year, it forces you to level up or risk getting overtaken. But Gout's not rattled. In interviews, he speaks with maturity beyond his years. "Long term, I'd like to set myself up and set my family up," he said. He's made smart financial moves, buying a car with his savings and staying focused on the long game. Lubenda, meanwhile, is just getting started. His confidence is growing, and so is his belief that he belongs on the world stage. "Last year, the races were close," he said, "but this year, I'm seeing a big difference. I'm waiting to improve more so I can be better next year." That hunger, combined with natural talent and early exposure to elite coaching, makes him dangerous. Not in the distant future. Now. We're watching the early stages of what could become one of the most exciting sprint rivalries in modern athletics. And while the spotlight may have started on Gout Gout, Uwezo Lubenda is racing to steal it. Only time will tell who will rise higher. But one thing is clear, Australia won't have to look far for its next sprinting superstar. In fact, it might have two. As Brisbane 2032 edges closer, both sprinters are at crucial stages in their development. Gout has tasted international competition, pressure, and the glare of global expectations. Lubenda, on the other hand, has the fire of a newcomer, less spotlight, but more hunger. The contrast is compelling. Gout thrives with structure, support systems, and corporate backing. Lubenda thrives on breakthrough moments, on pushing boundaries when no one expects him to. And let's not forget, Lubenda didn't just win. He dominated. Reports described him as finishing with a huge lead ahead of the chasing pack. That dominance isn't just a stat, it's a statement. And it's loud. What's also interesting is the timing. Lubenda's record-breaking run comes at a moment when global attention on track and field is ramping up again. With major events like the Diamond League, World Championships, and upcoming Olympics keeping sprinting in the spotlight, the rise of two Australian teenagers is exactly the kind of storyline that draws worldwide interest. In many ways, Australia is experiencing a sprint renaissance, and at the center of it are two prodigies whose rivalry could carry the sport into a new golden age. Gout Gout has already set the pace. Uwezo Lubenda is now pushing it. So what happens next? If these two continue on their paths, they may very well face off at a major world event before Brisbane. The 2028 Los Angeles Games could be their first Olympic clash. A stage like that, and with two young stars from the same country, that's the stuff of legends. Lubenda has delivered the message. Now, it's Gout's move. This is no longer just about winning races. It's about rewriting history.
Und jetzt kommt und jetzt ist Usain Bolt nicht zu halten. Nein, er gewinnt.
16 years. That's how long Usain Bolt's world records have been standing. And he just said he's not worried about anyone breaking them anytime soon. In September 2025, Bolt showed up at a big Puma event in Tokyo. This was actually his first time going to a World Championships since he stopped running back in 2017. And when people asked him about his records, he didn't hold back. "I'm not worried," he said with that famous Bolt confidence. "People are trying to get faster, and someday it will happen, just not now." Let's talk about these records for a second. Back in 2009 at the World Championships in Berlin, Bolt ran the 100 meters in 9.58 seconds. Then he ran the 200 meters in 19.19 seconds.
Great man, Usain Bolt charging down the straight as best they can. The other men are trying to follow him. Mullings and Spearman. Spearman finishing fast. Bolt wins. Bolt wins. And Bolt.
These times are so fast that nobody has even come close since then. Only one other runner, Johan Blake, has ever broken 9.7 in the 100 meters. That was back in 2012 when he ran 9.69. In the 200 meters, Blake is still the only other person to run faster than 19.3 seconds.
Tyson Gay got away well, so did Johan Blake. Blake's going away from this field at the moment. Following him is Tyson Gay, and Blake storming away, gets it. Gay in second place, and in third place, Lester Carter.
Think about how crazy this is. Jim Hines set a world record way back in 1968 with a time of 9.95. That record lasted 14 years before someone broke it. But Bolt's record has been standing for 16 years now, and it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. Now here's something really interesting. Today's runners have better shoes than Bolt ever had. They're called Super Spikes, and they have carbon plates in them that help runners go faster. Puma actually did some research and figured out that if Bolt had worn these new shoes back in Berlin, he would have run 9.42 seconds. That's even faster than his world record. Bolt totally agrees with this. He said, "I fully agree. He talked about another Jamaican runner named Shelly Ann Fraser-Price who kept running after he retired. She got faster with the spikes, Bolt explained. I probably would have run way faster if I'd continued and if I knew that spikes would have got to that level. But even with all this new technology, Bolt still doesn't think the current runners can break his records. So let's look at who's actually trying to chase down these times. First up is Noah Lyles from the United States. He's the only runner who's bold enough to actually say he wants to break Bolt's records. Back in 2023, Lyles said he was thinking about running 9.65 in the 100 meters and 19.10 in the 200 meters. He said, I have a good reason to believe I'm going to do something I've never done before. That same year, he won both races at the World Championships, just like Bolt used to do. But here's the thing. His best time in the 200 meters is still 19.31. That's really fast. In fact, it broke Michael Johnson's American record that had stood since 1996. But it's still not close to Bolt's 19.19. This year hasn't been perfect for Lyles either. He got beaten by two Jamaican runners in August. But he did win the U.S. Championships in the 200 meters. And at that race, something crazy happened. After Lyles won, Kenny Bednarek actually pushed him at the finish line. The two Americans had some real tension there. Speaking of tension, Lyles also said something earlier this year that got people talking. He claimed he had Usain Thompson in his pocket. Thompson is one of those Jamaican runners who beat Lyles. Bolt was asked about this trash talk and he didn't seem too bothered. I don't think Noah is as crazy as dealing with Justin Gatlin, Bolt said. Gatlin was another runner Bolt used to race against, and those two really went back and forth. I never listen to anybody. Bolt added, I know when I'm preparing and I'm ready, you can say whatever you want. You're not going to beat me. Now let's talk about Usain Thompson. This 22-year-old Jamaican might actually be the fastest person in the world right now. In June, he ran 9.75 at the Jamaican Championships. That was the fastest time anyone had run in 10 whole years. It makes him the sixth fastest person in history. Thompson is tall too, standing at 6 feet 1 inch. He looks like those classic Jamaican sprinters. At the Paris Olympics in 2024, Thompson almost won gold. He came so incredibly close to beating Noah Lyles in the 100-meter final. We're talking about 5/10,000ths of a second. That's basically nothing. But Lyles got him right at the line. Bolt is really excited about Thompson. I think we have a very good chance this year, he said. Usain and Oblique have shown they're in top form. They should be 1-2 if they execute. Bolt is clearly rooting for his fellow Jamaicans. He even said he'd love to present the gold medals to them, but maybe not if Lyles is standing on top of the podium. Oblique Seville is another Jamaican runner, and Bolt thinks he could be really special. Seville is only about 5 feet 7 inches tall, so he's much shorter than Thompson or Bolt. But don't let that fool you. This year, Seville beat Noah Lyles twice in big races. He won in Poland and in London. At the Jamaican Championships, he only lost to Thompson by 0.08 of a second. But Seville has one big problem: injuries. At the Paris Olympics, he looked amazing in the semifinals. He actually beat Lyles in that race. But then in the final, he had a groin injury and finished dead last in 8th place. Bolt talked about this earlier in 2025. Oblique can do it. Bolt said, if he can stay fit through the season and get it right, he can do it because I'm sure there's something there. But then Bolt added something concerning. Some of the time, Oblique is kind of fragile. Seville trains with Glenn Mills, who was actually Bolt's coach, so he's learning from the best. The coach believes in him. Bolt said, it's up to the athlete now to put it all together. There's also Kenny Bednarek, the American who pushed Lyles. Bednarek is having the best year of his career. He ran 9.79 at the U.S. Championships, which is his personal best. He's 26 years old, and definitely getting faster. But people say that until he beats the top guys like Lyles, Thompson, or Seville at a World Championship or Olympics, he hasn't really proven himself yet. Now here comes the really exciting part. There's a 17-year-old kid from Australia named Gout Gout. Yes, that's really his name. And people are already comparing him to Bolt. Why? Well, he's 6 feet tall with an upright running style, just like Bolt had. And his times as a junior are actually slightly faster than what Bolt was running at the same age. Australian media is going crazy about this kid. They're already saying he'll win gold at the 2032 Olympics in Brisbane, but Bolt is telling everyone to slow down. It's always easy when you're younger, Bolt explained. The transition to seniors is tougher. It's about the right coach, the right people around you. Focus. All those factors decide if he'll be great. Bolt knows what he's talking about here. Even though he was fast as a teenager, he didn't really become the greatest until he was 22 years old. That's when he broke the world record and won at the Beijing Olympics in 2008. But Bolt does like seeing young talent. He's very talented, Bolt said about gout. The more athletes do well, the bigger the sport gets. So is Bolt right? Will nobody break his records anytime soon? Let's look at the facts. It's been 16 years. Only one person has come remotely close in either event. The current top runners are really good, but they're not showing the kind of speed needed to get close to 9.58 or 19.19. Thompson's 9.75 is impressive, but that's still 0.17 seconds slower than Bolt. In sprinting, that's a huge gap. Bolt himself admits the records will fall eventually. Everything evolves in life, he said. People trying to get better, trying to get faster. It's not going to be a surprise if it actually happens, but the key words there are eventually and someday. Not now. Not with this current group of runners.
I knew I had something within me. I think running so fast, so young, and running faster than any of these girls that run age 17, I knew.
The gun fired, and in lane 6, Amy Hunt took off. 2 lanes away stood Shericka Jackson, a 3-time world champion. On her other side, Gabby Thomas, the Olympic gold medalist. But over the next 22 seconds, something happened that left 68,000 fans frozen, and the world wondering if they just witnessed the birth of a new sprint queen.
I knew I was too talented for it to go to waste. I had a fire, I had a light inside of me that just said, like, it's worth it, keep going.
Amy Hunt won silver in the 200 meters at the 2025 World Athletics Championships in Tokyo. She clocked 22.01 seconds to finish second behind Melissa Jefferson Wooden of the United States, who won gold in 21.78 seconds. Hunt defeated Shericka Jackson of Jamaica, who placed third in 22.14 seconds, and Gabby Thomas of the United States, who finished fourth in 22.18 seconds. The result marked Hunt's first global championship medal at age 22. She became the youngest British woman to win a World Championships 200-meter medal in the event's history. The performance represented a breakthrough for the sprinter who had shown promise but never delivered on the biggest stages until Tokyo. Hunt ran a season's best time in the final. Her previous fastest 200 meters in 2025 came in the semifinals when she clocked 22.18 seconds to advance. She improved by 0.17 seconds between the semifinal and final, demonstrating her ability to raise performance levels when medals were on the line. The British sprinter started the 2025 season ranked outside the world's top 15 in the 200 meters. She entered the World Championships without major expectations from athletics observers. Most predictions focused on the battle between Jefferson Wooden, Jackson, and Thomas for the medals. Jackson entered Tokyo as the 3-time world champion in the 200 meters, having won titles in 2022, 2023, and 2024. She held a personal best of 21.41 seconds from the 2023 World Championships in Budapest.
She's storming to victory here. Watch the clock. This is so fast. It's a brilliant, brilliant title defense.
The Jamaican star had dominated the event for 3 consecutive years. Thomas won Olympic gold in the 200 meters at the Paris 2024 Games just 13 months before the Tokyo World Championships. She clocked 21.83 seconds in Paris to claim her first Olympic title. Thomas also held World Championship silver from Budapest in 2023 and bronze from Eugene in 2022. Hunt's path to the final began in the heats on Thursday, September 18th. She won her heat in 22.34 seconds, the 3rd fastest time of the opening round. The performance demonstrated competitive form without revealing her full speed. In the semifinals on Friday, September 19th, Hunt ran 22.18 seconds to finish second in her race. She advanced to the final as one of the 6 fastest athletes from the semifinal round. Her semifinal time equaled her previous personal best from earlier in the season. Hunt drew lane 6 for the final,